Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Prasad. I'm co-founder and CEO of MFine, a digital health platform. I thought I would take 10 minutes to just talk about what is what is really exciting us in terms of building new age digital solutions in healthcare. We started as a company 6 years ago. The situation has changed significantly over the last 2-3 years. I wanted to show, and I think a lot of experts have talked about what are all the possibilities from AI usage to mobile usage to insurance, etc., getting transformed with digital transformation in healthcare. What I wanted to show in the next 10 minutes is to show that this is already a reality. In a lot of cases, these solutions are already existing and getting used by the the patients and consumers across. So when we started 6 years ago, I think we wanted to start a digital health company that is consumer focused, directly giving healthcare services on an app for every consumer to use. Obviously, healthcare is a very large ecosystem play. Each service is not going to be isolated, but whenever somebody needs a doctor's consultation, it doesn't stop there. They need diagnostics, they need medicine. If there is a surgery referred, then they have to go for a surgery. So all of this, when we looked at the industry at that point in time, was very much disconnected, and patients themselves were running from pillar to post from everywhere. And we saw that digital health mission should be actually integrating this experience for the consumers, and that will only give us the better outcomes as well, clinical outcomes for the patients, right? And that's the aim with which we started the journey. And obviously, last 2-3 years, COVID has changed everything significantly. I think what we thought would happen in next 5-7 years or so, sitting in 2020, all of that happened in 2 years, pretty much. And I think everybody spoke about it. I think I don't have to re-emphasize it, but just to highlight, right? So teleconsultations have taken off, at-home diagnostics have taken off, even insurance. And I think it was talked about much less today, I thought, but I think one of the panelists talked about it earlier, that more and more outpatient insurance is now becoming focus of health insurance players as well. Everybody came to know that they need to measure their vitals. During COVID, everybody was measuring SpO2. Even SpO2 machines were going out of stock to some extent. So people understood that these are important health measures that they have to take. And we talked about ABA ID and National Health ID, etc. The digital health data is so important, and that's what we saw with the COVID adoption as well, when the vaccination is done for billions of people. Right? I think this actually changed the way we could actually offer solutions, and the solutions we adopted. I wanted to look at what has been achieved in this, not just at MFine. I'll show MFine as an example, but I think several industry players have changed dramatically, and a lot of technology has been deployed in the last 2-3 years. That's the most exciting part about digital health, and I see it as an opportunity for India to leapfrog, just like we did in universal identification with Aadhaar, or financial payments with UPI, etc. I think we can set an example for the world in digital health as well, with very specific things about India, right? So teleconsult, the way we have done most of the entire ecosystem, not just MFine. MFine is an example here. We more focused on mHealth. It's a smartphone-based direct connection to the doctor. It's mobile-centric because there are 400 million or more smartphone users in this country. When we started teleconsultation in the last couple of years, we had pretty much teleconsult being done from every corner of the country. Almost all PIN codes of India have used MFine teleconsultation. That shows also the power of mobile has already reached in Indian society, and that's the leverage that we have now. We also built not just as a connectivity tool, but also AI assistance for doctors. We also did a lot more rich interfaces for the teleconsultation itself, that you can have multi-party consultations. You can also measure your own vitals on the mobile app itself without any extra device, right? Like SpO2 or heart rate or even blood pressure monitoring, etc. Right? So just a quick glimpse of how data is collected these days in the apps. Particularly, this is an MFine example, but I think more and more people are innovating in this direction itself. It's not going to be just a video call. It's not a Zoom-based teleconsultation. It's a much more richer interaction, both useful for the doctors as well to have important data, as well as for the patients as well. So including things like if you have a skin rash, there's images are captured and then analyzed with ML. If you have a cough, the sound is captured and analyzed with ML on top, etc. All of this is a reality in MFine app. The multi-party video consultation is very much an important feature because a lot of times the caregiver and probably the person needing the care are not in the same location as well. So those kind of innovations have come as well. And within the app itself, you don't have to go out an extra device. You can even measure and report your blood pressure. We are actually also seeing that possibility to do even non-invasive glucose measurement as well, random blood sugar measurement as well. So some of these, the nature of teleconsult itself, with being mobile-centric, very personalized device like mobile, has significantly changed. And this is something that we can do very uniquely compared to anybody else even in the world, right? And that's very special to India, India's adoption of smartphone. Just like financial transactions happen in significant number in India, I think healthcare transactions, very rich healthcare transactions can happen also in mobile device itself, right? Again, I think many people talked about Health ID as well. We see it as a very, very powerful mechanism to actually access all your digital records, health records with one ID. Not only that, you can actually walk in as a consumer to any lab today, give your Health ID, and they can push their reports, your reports to your Health ID and accessible to you under your control. So what we have done simply is that we enabled a kind of an SMTP protocol for that ID, Health ID. That means that anybody who sends a report to your Health ID can automatically be coming into your digital records and also digitized as well, right? And it's very simple to share for you to with another doctor, take a second opinion on the lab reports or a follow-up, etc. Right? So again, as soon as you register, you can create a Health ID for yourself. It can be compliant to the National Health ID as well. And most importantly, that becomes very active Health ID. It's not just a static one, but everybody in the ecosystem that you interact with, your doctor consultation or your diagnostics particularly, can easily interact with your Health ID and send you the reports. Here is a case where the report is sent as an email to your ID, and automatically the values are recognized with the digitization that AI that we use. And then even the trends are given, and this immediately can also trigger a consultation with the data with the doctor, right? The portability of the health data is going to be amazingly powerful with the kind of Health ID and the digitization around it, right? So as I talked about, mobile itself, we saw the opportunity that instead of, I think somebody was talking about underdiagnosis, etc. I think there are more than 150 million people with hypertension in India. But if you look at the number of self-measurement hypertensive devices, if you see, Omron, etc., is less than 5 million that are sold. That means that most of the people have not access to this measurement, continuous measurement. We thought that if we can make it without extra device in the smartphone itself, the measurement of BP, it can actually reach all these 150 million people or more, right? So that's the intention. And even with, another interesting thing we have done with the health tracker. So we want to convert the entire mobile phone into a health tracker. I think we talked about women's participation in this forum itself, as well as addressing women's issues, women's health issues specifically. We also launched period tracker and started to track women's health in a more holistic way and a continuous way, so that the PCOD kind of chronic conditions, etc., can be also addressed proactively. So those are the kind of things that are made possible on the mobile itself with all the digital health technologies, using mobile as a center of everything, as well as AI with all the data that is being collected, right? So these are the, in fact, for the BP device, we're even going for FDA certification, software as a medical device kind of a certification. We're in the process of collecting data and then publishing that report as well. This enables actually a continuous care for people. In a similar way, the period and ovulation tracker that helps actually track the symptoms for the women, the metabolic health or hormonal health, etc., reproductive health can be tracked much more proactively. Most of the gynecologists will get, with the consent of the user, access to this data, and they can actually treat their patients much, much better. So, yeah, and last thing is what spoken about a little bit only today, payer integration. We see a lot of interest as well as products coming up in health insurance, particularly for the outpatient care. Even here, for the outpatient care, which happens more often, not like a surgery or which happens infrequently in a lifetime of the patients. This is happens more often and encourages people to be, both do more preventive tests, etc., and then also compliance for pharmacy utilization, etc., if the entire health insurance is covering these aspects as well in the outpatient care. So that also, again, from a consumer point of view, how to simplify it. We basically made a simple wallet where the insurance can give you the cover via the wallet, and the wallet is working against any UPI interface. That means that any network you walk into, any UPI payment QR code that you walk into, it can actually be bought. You can buy your services like doctor consultation or diagnostics or even pharmacy, and still get your insurance pay for that. Kind of a universal cashless network that we enabled. So these are some of the innovations that are possible now and also already being done in India, and that's the excitement for us. I think a lot of eminent speakers I heard about since morning, since morning, and a lot of people talked about all these possibilities. I thought I would show you the glimpses of what is already there and deployed and running, and share the excitement that we have that the future is actually significant. The future is almost already here, and digital health is going to enable significantly different way of healthcare delivery. I think we are very unique in terms of the population that we have and the diversity of the population and the economic segmentation, etc. And we need to develop our own solutions compared to any digital health solutions that may be existing in the West or otherwise. And we have the elements to develop our own unique proprietary and certain example for the whole world as well, which is basically around mobile, around health ID and digital records and the payer integration all into your mobile device, right? I think our future and vision is that if you want to talk about it, I think smartphone is with everybody, and bringing that powerful sensors in the smartphone and the AI together, I think every mobile phone owner can be in a much more control of their own health, and digital health actually enables this. Basically, that's the vision that we are working towards. Thanks a lot for your attention. I just wanted to show some of the things that are being talked about, how close we are to the reality of implementation and deployment of those. Thank you very much.